Hey, let's recap Chicago Fire, Season 3, Episode 7, Nobody Touches Anything. This episode is part of the Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and SVU crossover week. It's really big. The only crossover part was at the very end when Severide finds this guy who holding a box. The room's on fire, and this guy is holding a box, and there's a bunch of pictures inside of a bunch of victims. And so the Chicago PD takes it. So that was their only part in the crossover event, which is good because I would hate to see this take up more than necessary. So what actually happened in this episode had to do with Severide. He came back from Vegas, as we remember. Cap couldn't go. At the very last minute, he asked Sylvie to join him, but she's like, that's a bad idea. And it was, because Severide found a girl at the craps table, kissed her, and they're married. He comes back in this episode like, hey, I got married in Vegas. Her name's Brittany. Isn't that great? And everyone's like, this is not going to last. They got a pool going. Mouch noticed they're all, and even the chief is in for like 3 weeks, that this is all going to turn to crap. So the entire Firehouse knows that this is just Severide reacting to the whole Shay thing, because he's just been in a bad place the entire season. And so Gabby's like, what are you doing, Casey? You can't tell him they can stay with us. This is crazy. He's out of his mind. And so she talks to him, and he basically says that this is the way he's dealing with it. And, you know, I mean, she says that he's hiding or something, and he tells her that maybe she's hiding, you know. And so we kind of parallel a lot in this episode, Gabby and Casey, with Severide and his new wife, because I mean, Severide can just do whatever the heck he wants. He can go to Vegas and get married. But Gabby and Casey are still hiding their relationship because they're both on Truck 81. And so it's kind of like they are in love, and they have been for a long time, and they've been putting off their engagement, and they can't get married even though they really want to. And Severide just did it in 2 seconds with a girl he'd known for 24 hours. Yeah. So, I mean, Gabby and Casey aren't really happy about it, but they'll do whatever it takes. Sylvie are, you know, having a great bonding time. The AMBO is really a great bonding place. And, I mean, this has been a thing with the 2 ambulance peoples, because we've had Shay and Dawson. So now it's Sylvie and Peter. So she starts talking about this Zumba class that she wants to go to, and because she's new in the city, so she's really, like, spreading her roots. And, you know, we got Sylvie as her, like, a really great character after the whole thing with her ex-fiancé. And so she goes to this Zumba class, and lo and behold, it's Joe Cruz, who is the teacher. And this was actually a funny thing. The guy who plays Joe Cruz, his name is Joe, and he actually does take Zumba, and he told the writer, and so they added Zumba into his character, which was really funny, probably the funniest scene in a while. So you got this big, muscular firefighter who's like, yeah, ladies, let's work it. It's really funny. And so the deal that he makes with Sylvie is that she'll keep his secret if he lets her cook for Molly's too, because the mobile truck is going to come out very soon. However, Joe is not cooking because he can't cook for crap. So on the other side of the paramedic fun is Peter Mills, who's got knee-deep in Newhouse's drama. So he's trying to raise money for his daughter because he wants to give his daughter everything, and we've seen this in his character before. And now he's like in this deep trouble with this guy in some of his private investigator work, and he's tracking this guy down, and if he does, he gets $2 grand, and so he's kind of desperate for money. So, you know, he's involved in some really tough things. We don't know all the details, but Mills is there, and he's just like standing guard at the car while he goes and gets his face pounded in, or he plants trackers, and he gets rocks shoved in his mirrors with a note saying, stay away from me or else, and it's really, really heavy. But Peter Mills steps up and gets the entire Firehouse to donate all the money, and it gives into him so he doesn't have to do this anymore. And so it just kind of reinforces the fact that Firehouse 51 is a family, and they take care of their family. They actually had one of their more difficult rescues, which Dawson is doing a great job, by the way. She's turning out to be a great firefighter, and she totally changes her tune with Severide nearing the end. But they actually had to get this woman out of a car which was upside down and in a ditch. And so they had to take off the bottom of the car, and she's like upside down and her head's all bloody. It's really weird. And everybody it's a great team effort. And then she comes out of it, and Severide's just like, yeah, good job, guys, high five, high five, high five. And I'm like, this was a very somber and scary experience, and you're just so happy afterwards. Severide's just in a real high after getting married. So Severide and his wife actually are pretty close, and it seems to be working. She brings donuts to the firehouse, which means, boom, they're in. She brings us food. We're down. Go ahead, Severide. We like your new wife. So they kind of decide that they want to stay together and that this is working at this point, and they're going to do what they want. Clearly, they both have problems, but for the time being, it seems to be what they both want.